Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with Monday Night Raw, broadcast last night on USA Network from the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. In the main event, Jey Uso defeated Ilya Dragunov in a quarterfinals match for the Raw bracket of the King of the Ring tournament. The show ended with a stare-down between Uso and Gunther, who are set to face off in the semifinals next week. Gunther had defeated Kofi Kingston by submission in a quarterfinal match earlier in the show to advance.
Kofi Kingston now, measuring his man. Kofi looking to explode out of the corner. Went for trouble in paradise. Gunther able to hook Kingston up into a powerbomb. Stacks him up. Kick out, no. Wait a minute. Gunther turns it into a Boston Crab. Middle of the ring. Kingston with nowhere to go. Pressure on the back. Gunther screaming. Kingston trying to hang on, but he's got to tap out.
In quarterfinal matches of the Queen of the Ring tournament, Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark, and Io Sky beat Shayna Baszler. In a four-way match to determine the number one contenders for R-Truth and the Miz's World Tag Team title, Finn Balor and JD McDonough came out victorious over the Creed brothers, the AOP, and New Catch Republic.
Carlito's here! Carlito's here! Backstabber on the table! To Pete Dunne! Carlito has been trying to work his way into the Judgment Day. Will it pay off tonight?
JD just swung that bucket of Pete Dunne's.
Conan Ross! Thanks to the backstabber by Carlito! Judgment Day are the number one contenders!
In other results, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn beat Otis, Bronson Reed got a quick win over Akira Tozawa, and Becky Lynch defeated Dakota Kai via disqualification due to outside interference from Damage Control. Lyra Valkyria made the save for Lynch after the match, but Lynch was then attacked by Liv Morgan. In more WWE news, the latest news of a major WWE talent to re-sign with the company involves World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, who signed a new long-term deal back in February, as reported yesterday by Fightful. The reported deal was made just days before Priest's previous contract was set to expire and would keep Priest with the company for the foreseeable future. In ratings news, SmackDown drew an audience of 2.128 million viewers to Fox last Friday, according to WrestleNomics. That's slightly down from the previous week's 2.148 million viewers. In the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the rating was a .62, which is up slightly from the previous week's .60 demo rating. The show ran against an NBA playoff game between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. In legal news, the aggravated assault case against Cash Wheeler has been dropped, according to a report from Mike Johnson. For reasons not made known, the prosecutor's office opted not to pursue the case, in which Wheeler was accused of brandishing a loaded firearm during a road rage incident in Orange County, Florida last July. WWE has a hearing scheduled for May 29th in the company's lawsuit against the Texas Attorney General. The suit is an attempt to stop the release by the AG's office of the specifics of a deal reached between WWE and the city of San Antonio to host the 2023 Royal Rumble. WWE maintains the information, which reportedly contains dollar amounts paid to WWE by the city, to be confidential. WWE has been granted an extension in another lawsuit, this one brought against the company by a fan who alleges his hearing was damaged after attending a SmackDown taping in 2022. The company now has until June 3rd to reply to the claims of the plaintiff, who is seeking $15,000 in damages. In injury news, Powerhouse Hobbs recently underwent patella tendon surgery and has started physical therapy to repair his injured knee, according to a social media post from Hobbs. Hobbs sustained the injury during his challenge of IWGP champion Jon Moxley on the April 24th edition of AEW Dynamite from Jacksonville. And turning to Japan, the second night of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament was presented yesterday by New Japan Pro Wrestling in Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. Victorious in Block A matches were El Desperado, Titan, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Clark Connors, and Blake Christian, with Christian and Titan both leading the A block with 4 points apiece. Victorious in B block matches were Doki, Kushida, Taiji Ishimori, Robbie Eagles, and Ninja Mac. Mac, Ishimori, and Kushida led Block B with 4 points apiece. And before we go today, we have one correction to make as it concerns Monday's newscast. Yesterday, during a story on Jerry Lawler being honored by the city of Evansville, Indiana, we reported that during the ceremony, Lawler was presented with the original artwork he sent in to Lance Russell at WMC-TV in Memphis that led to him getting his first break into the wrestling business. But at the time Lawler sent in his artwork, professional wrestling was still being hosted on WHBQ-TV in Memphis, where Russell also served as the station's programming director. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.